Today, we're going to celebrate lockdown. Here's the lockdown number 3, 4, whatever number it is. It's been a very interesting week, to say the least. We've been put back into a very strict lockdown, and it's really easy to sort of get down and, depressed about the situation because it's a shitty situation. And then I woke up this morning and I thought, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to try to turn this lockdown, which is ultimately just a really stupid obstruction in my life right now, into something a little more positive, more fun, more creative. So I decided to celebrate this lockdown. And that's exactly what I'm doing. Cheers, guys. One of the fun things I did do this week is I called up Evan over at the Cigar Experience.
Good afternoon, Cigar Experience. It's Evan. I'm helping you.
Evan, how are you?
Fine, thank you.
Just calling to see, if you guys are open, which obviously you are. And
for curbside.
Asked him if he could recommend a nice cigar that would be comparable, if not better, than the Mathilde Renaissance. That's always going to be the benchmark for me until I find something that unequivocally is better than that. That's going to be what I'll measure everything else against. And he recommended this cigar right here, which is the Rocky Patel Special Edition. And if you can see how it's flat, it's not round. They call that box pressed. I'm not a fan of it. A lot of people say that it enhances the flavor and it actually makes the cigar burn better, but I don't like the way it sort of fumbles around in my grip and in my teeth. I much prefer a round cigar. I like to spend some time and actually shoot the photograph of them. So this photograph here is what I shot the other day of the Rocky Patel. And I just shoot it here on the kitchen table, and I try to use available light whenever possible. I'm just a big fan of shooting with available light. For this one, I used a flash. And to sort of give me a general direction, I always check out the cigar maker's website, and they sort of have like a color scheme going, and there's just a flavor to their overall page about whatever cigar it is that I take my cue from and then sort of just pull things together from around the house and shoot it as best I can. It's a process that I really enjoy doing, and maybe I'll document it for a later episode. Let's light this thing up and see how good it tastes. They call this the foot, where you can see the tobacco, and then they call that the head. And there's a round bit of tobacco leaf that's sort of made to close it off, and that's called the cap. And you can kind of see, although I'm probably not doing it justice, there where it begins to taper, that's called the shoulder. And you never want to cut below the shoulder because the leaf might actually unwrap. I like to spend a minute basically just sort of chewing on the end, not chewing, but just moistening it. I find that you get a much nicer draw. And when you smoke a cigar like this, you're supposed to follow the rule of slow and cool. You want it to burn cool, and you do that by smoking it slowly. And it's one of those things that you have to be right in the sweet spot, because if you wait too long in between puffing on the cigar, it's liable to go out. And the minute you've got to relight a cigar, it's going to change the flavor, and that's no good. So you really want to take 30 seconds to a minute. You want to be puffing on it, but that seems like an enormous amount of time. If you're enjoying a cigar, just don't smoke it like a cigarette, I guess, would be the best advice, because it's not a cigarette. And you never want to inhale cigar smoke. It's never meant to be inhaled. If you do, you'll learn very quickly why it's not meant to be inhaled. See, we're celebrating lockdown. Cigars and champagne. This is called toasting. The idea is to sort of toast the foot before you light it. See, when lighting it with the box press, you don't get that nice, circular motion. It's really sort of, it's a square wheel. It doesn't make sense. That's a lot of flavor. right off the bat. There's a lot of subtleties going on in that first draw. Smoke's nice. It's a really, really delicious wrapper. That's good. As always though, the magic happens when the cigar gets down to here. Right there, right before the label on this one. That's when it gets really good. So now getting back to the actual flavor of this cigar. It's good, but it's not a Matilda, which is crazy because this is priced, I believe, at $26, and the Matilda Renacer, and I smoked the Bravo Toro, is priced at $16 even, I think. So it's a $10 difference, and according to my taste, there's not $10 difference. I would still prefer the Renacer any day of the week over this. It's a good cigar, don't get me wrong. It's just no Renacer. That's pretty well it, I think. I'm gonna enjoy the rest of this cigar. It's actually quite good. I would definitely give it high marks. I guess that's it for now. Thanks for joining. I'll see you guys soon.